Section 5.3 is on dividing polynomials. With number 18, we are dividing by a monomial. So we would break up this problem into 12n n cubed over 3mn plus 9m squared n squared over 3mn minus 15m squared n over 3mn. If you look at each term separately, and you can cancel. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 12 4 times. We have one m on top, one on the bottom. They are canceled out. The n's, we have one n on the bottom and 3 on top, which means there is only 2 left. So what is left is only 4n squared. The next term, 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 goes into 9 3 times. 1m on the bottom cancels with 1 on top. 1n on the bottom cancels with 1 on top, leaving 1. And all that is left is 3mn minus. The last term, 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 15 5 times. The n's drop off. There's 1m on the bottom, which cancels with 1 on the top, leaving only 1. So 5m is what is left. We cannot do any more to this 3 terms because these are all unlike terms. Number 32 is dividing by a binomial, which means we either have to use long division or synthetic. If you're using long division, the m minus 3 needs to go on the outside. And then we have 2m to the 4th power minus 5m cubed. You are missing a squared term, so we need to put in a placer 0 into there, and then continue with minus 10m plus 8. To start off, you always look at this first number here, this letter m, and say m times what gives us the 2m to the 4th? Well, that would be 2m cubed. So then you need to distribute whatever you put up on top. In this case, when you distribute, you get 2m to the 4th minus 6m to the 4th. And our next step is to subtract. 2m to the 4th minus 2m to the 4th is 0. Negative 5 minus a negative 6 is a positive 1 m to the 4th. Bring down your next term, which is 0m squared. Now you look at m and m to the 4th here. M times m cubed gives m to the 4th. M cubed times negative 3 is negative 3m squared. We subtract. M to the 4th minus m to the 4th is 0. 0 minus a negative 3 is a positive 3m squared. Bring down the next term, which is negative 10m. Now we look at 3m squared, and we say m times 3m gives us 3m squared minus 3m times 3 is 9m. When we subtract, the 3 minus 3 gives 0. Negative 10 minus a negative 9 is really negative 1m. Bring down our next term of positive 8, and this will be the last time we do this. M times what is negative 1m? That would be negative 1. So we get negative 1m. Negative 1 times negative 3 is a positive 3. And when you subtract, negative 1m plus 1m really gives 0. 8 minus 3 is 5. This 5 is your remainder, so you take your remainder over your divisor, which is m minus 3. Now with synthetic division, we should get the same answer. It's just done a little differently. Inside of the box will go the opposite of m minus 3, which would be 3. And then you have to use your coefficients. 2, negative 5, as 0 because there's no m squared term, negative 10, and 8. Skip a line, draw a line. Bring down the 2, and now you're ready to do synthetic division. You take 3 times 2 is 6, and then add your column together, you get 1. 3 times 1 is 3, add your column together, and you get 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Add your columns together and get negative 1. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3, and you get 5. This here is your remainder. Since the polynomial started as a 4th degree polynomial, that means this right here is a 3rd degree polynomial, with 2 being the leading coefficient. And then go right down the line. We then would have 1m squared plus 3m minus 1 plus the remainder, 5 over m minus 3. So again, it's your remainder over your divisor. You could have did this problem either way. The last problem, number 42 from your homework that we are going over, is dividing by 4x plus 1. And because there's a 4 there, you will need to do long division. So with this problem, I am going to do long division. Looking for any placer zeros, I see that the powers go in descending order, so we do not need any placer zeros. And then we look here, and we say 4x times what gives us 4x cubed? Well, x squared does that. And remember, whatever you put up on top, you need to distribute. So we get 4x cubed plus x squared. Subtract, 4 minus 4 is 0. 5 minus 1x squared is 4x squared. Bring down the next term of 3x. 4x times what is 4x squared? That would be x. So we get 4x squared. X times 1 is 1x. Subtract, 4 minus 4 is 0. Negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4x. Bring down the next term, which is minus 1. And then do the process again. 4x times what is negative 4x? Well, 4x times negative 1 is negative 4x. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. And when you subtract, negative 4 minus negative 4 is 0. Negative 1 minus a negative 1 is 0. This one has no remainder. So your answer is just x squared plus x minus 1.